to people who get less than 6 hours sleep per night, they are 30% more likely to remain overweight or obese compared to those that get over 8 hours of sleep. Steps are the king of fat loss. Have an exit plan. If you achieve your goal but you don't know what to do afterwards, guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up straight back to square one.
You actually have to learn how to push yourself. You have to learn how to leverage the power of your decisions, and you've got to learn how to take action when you don't feel like it.
Welcome to the 1 in a Million podcast with me, your host, Millie Cvjetkovic. This is your go-to destination for empowering conversations on mastering confidence in both body and mind. Welcome back to another episode of the 1 in a Million podcast. Today we're talking about 8 ways that you're going to be able to triple your rate of fat loss progress. So tip number 1, you have to reverse engineer the goal. You have to reverse engineer the endpoint. Now, what do I mean by that? Define exactly how much body weight you wish to lose. And then from there, you'll know how much of a calorie deficit you need to be in. Let's say, for instance, within the month, you would want to lose 4 pounds. We know that 1 pound is thereabouts equivalent to 3,500 calories. So by being in a calorie deficit of 500 calories per day, you will, if you stick to it perfectly, be able to lose 4 pounds within a month. That's 4 pounds of body fat. So it's very important to be particular about where you're headed, and also to make sure that this is a realistic goal and something that is sustainable. If you're striving to put yourself in a deficit of 1,500 calories a day, that's a very big ask and a very big strain on the body. So make sure that the rate of fat loss progress that you're expecting to see is thereabouts between 1 to 1.5% of a loss of your current body weight each week. So take your current body weight, calculate 1 to 1.5% of what your body weight is, and expect to lose that every single week. Tip number 2 is to track your progress meticulously. You have got to be very accurate and very precise when you're tracking your progress. And this is several different variables. Firstly, I would weigh in daily. I'd make sure that you're taking daily scale weight readings because it's going to give you an accurate reflection of the average scale weight that you are that week. You should be comparing your weekly averages. So let's say if my average for the first week of the month was 140 pounds, and then my average weight for the second week of the month was 139 pounds, then I know that I am losing body fat at the intended rate. However, if you're someone that's going to look at day-to-day fluctuations, you're going to be disheartened because ultimately day-to-day acute fluctuations of scale weight readings are really common. It can depend on the amount of food that you've consumed the day before, the types of foods, the amount of sodium, the amount of fiber. It can depend on your hormonal profile. It can depend on if you've gone to the toilet. There's so many different reasons that day to day, your scale weight might be jumping up a few pounds at a time or dropping a few pounds at a time. So just use 7 days of weighing in to calculate one number, that's your weekly average, and then compare it to the next week's weekly average. The other thing to help you, along with the scale weight measurements to be an accurate measure of progress, is actually taking measurements of your body, whether that's your hips, whether that's your waist, whether that's your arms, perhaps the areas where you're most conscious that you would like to see some fat loss from. Make sure that you take a weekly measurement with a tape measure and record this. It is imperative that everything that you are doing, you are recording so that you can refer back to it. The same thing goes with progress photos. Take clear progress photos wearing the same clothes, the same time of day, on the same day. It is going to allow you to truly compare without any other variables skewing the results that you're seeing. It's going to allow you to truly see if you're headed in the right direction. When it comes to your food, again, track every single calorie, everything that you're eating before it enters your mouth. Pre-track everything, weigh it out, track it, then consume the food, and make sure that you're being honest with yourself. No sneaky calories, no having something then forgetting to track it. Everything goes into your food tracking app before it goes into your mouth, okay? And the same thing goes with activities, logging your activities, wearing a smartwatch, making sure that you're tracking all of your steps, all of your workouts, all of your active minutes. Everything has to be tracked if you're truly wanting to get a clear picture on your progress. Because if you're not tracking these things, then you won't know what to change, you won't know how to change it, and you won't truly be able to see if you're making progress. And sometimes you can be making progress, but you feel like you're not. But then you look at the difference between photos or your scale weight average and you see that you are moving forwards. Tip number 3 is sleep 7 to 8 hours a night as a minimum, more if you can. Quality sleep is crucial for successful fat loss. You will maintain a healthier metabolism. You will maintain healthier energy levels, and you will be able to move more and do more to create a calorie deficit, which is going to allow you to achieve your fat loss goals faster. To people who get less than 6 hours sleep per night, they are 30% more likely to remain overweight or obese compared to those that get over 8 hours of sleep. This is because when you get less sleep, when your body is more tired, you have higher cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone. You are more likely to therefore have your fat loss efforts blunted because of your higher stress levels. The other thing is you are going to be more likely to crave processed, sugary, fatty, highly palatable foods because the body is just looking for an energy kick. It doesn't know that what it needs is some more restorative rest and deep sleep. It actually thinks, oh, okay, maybe this chocolate bar is going to make me feel a little bit more energized. And that's even worse because of the sugar crash that you experience afterwards, which leaves you feeling so fatigued and tired. So optimize your sleep routine. Calculate, okay, if I need to get 8 hours of sleep, what time do I need to fall asleep? What time do I need to wake up? And then from there, set a bedtime alarm and a wake time alarm. Do not set your bedtime alarm to be at the time where you should already be asleep. Let's say if I wanted to fall asleep at 10 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. to get 8 hours of sleep per night, I would not set my bedtime alarm at 10 p.m. Because if it's 10 p.m., I'm halfway through a movie, I haven't brushed my teeth, maybe I've still got to take my supplements, then it's going to start eating into that precious sleep time. So set your bedtime alarm a good 60 to 90 minutes before you are due to be in bed and fast asleep. The first half an hour, use it to take a shower, maybe go and brush your teeth, take your sleep supplements. Then for that final hour before you should be asleep, ensure that you are not using any electronics, not using any devices, that you're steering away from blue light, that you're doing something relaxing, whether it is journaling, reading, meditating, whatever the hell it is. Just stay away from the blue light. Make sure that you've got an hour of calm and peace before you fall asleep. And that is going to mean that you're far more likely to get the restorative sleep that you need to feel energized the next day. I'm going to be honest and say, since getting the Whoop, this has been an absolute game changer. You wear it all the time. It tells you exactly what stage of your sleep cycle you're in. It tells you how many hours that you've actually been asleep for, or if you've woken up a lot in the night, whether you've been in deep sleep or REM sleep. It tells you how much sleep debt you've accumulated and if you need a night of longer sleep. And it really is accurate when it comes to telling you your recovery the next day. I know I can feel it in myself if I haven't had the restorative sleep that I need. But then when I look at this, the data on my app, and it says that my recovery percentage is way poorer, I can understand why, because I haven't prioritized sleep. And I feel like I can't push myself as hard during my training sessions. When you get to know your body and you get to know the variables and the data, you are so much more able to optimize the results that you're seeing. If you are a busy, career-driven woman and you know that your inability to lose the body fat that you want to lose is stopping you from living a confident, successful life, then hear me out. We have just launched our Fat Loss Accelerator program, which is made specifically for women who are constrained for time, yet they want to lose anywhere between 10 to 25 pounds of body weight within 90 days. Throughout this process, we're also going to teach you exactly what you need to know so that you can maintain this result forever. That it's the lifestyle changes and the habits that you need to implement for the rest of your life to finally become that confident and successful woman who excels in all areas of her life. So if you're interested in finding out more about our Fat Loss Accelerator program, then send me a message on Instagram. Send me the words Fat Loss Accelerator. My Instagram is millie at Team CBM. The link is in the description below, and I will get back to you with all the information that you need to know. Back to the episode. Tip number 4 is do more steps. Steps are the king of fat loss, because just by walking more and opting for doing a couple of minutes walking when brushing your teeth, parking further away, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, you rack up so many more calories burned throughout the day. You're in such a significantly greater calorie deficit. Ultimately, it is really imperative that you set yourself a step target and that you strive to stick to that. I would say setting a step target range is probably better. For some of our ladies on Team CBM, we know that there's certain days where they might be in the office and they're going to have to be a little bit more sedentary on those days, because if they're sat at a desk for 10 hours of the day and they simply have no opportunity really outside of meetings to go and get those steps in, then we might set them a lower step target on those days, but they make up for it on other days where they're able to go out and be more proactive with their steps. So even a weekly step average is absolutely fine, but do more steps. Think about as much as possible moving as far as you can. Make meal prep a priority. Do not scrimp out on meal prep, because it is a gift to your future self to be able to wake up on a busy day, to open your fridge, and you have all of the meals, maybe your breakfast, your lunch in there and your snacks ready. The only thing that you might need to do is prep dinner when you get home, but you've got 75% of your day of food has already been prepared in line with your targets to achieve fat loss. What an incredible gift, especially if you're a busy woman. If you're a busy woman, whether you're a mum, whether you're a professional, it does not take the same amount of energy to be stressed because you haven't prepared your food and because you're knowing that you're going over your food targets. That is way more energy intensive compared to just taking 20 minutes the night before to prep. Okay? So do ensure that it's in your diary, that you set a reminder, that you set an alarm to set aside time for that meal prep. It is literally a gift to your future self. If you're going to prep dinner for yourself, perhaps maybe some loved ones, cook it twice, prep 2 batches, freeze some of it, and then you know that you've got some backup meals. Number 6, setting boundaries. You must set clear boundaries on your eating habits, your lifestyle choices to help you to maintain focus and discipline. If your loved ones and the closest ones around you think that you're a pushover or don't believe that you're actually going to stick to what you say you're going to do, whether it's your bedtime or whether it's I'm going to only have 1 to 2 social meals this week, and outside of that I'm going to prep and control all of my food. If people know that they can push your buttons because they want to get something out of you, they will, because humans are inherently selfish. No one really truly cares whether you lose that pound this week except for you, right? It matters more to you than it matters to anybody else. So set clear boundaries and do not let them be walked upon, because if you allow that boundary to waver, what happens? People are just going to keep pushing those buttons and keep wearing you down until you give them what they want, and ultimately that's not going to be what you want. So if one of your boundaries is there's certain food groups that if we have them in the house, I'm way more likely to overeat on those, and I think that having them there is going to be rather unhelpful, communicate that in the kindest possible way and talk about why it's going to benefit you and benefit the other person, aka if you stop bringing these types of foods home for me, it's going to mean that I feel more proud and happy within myself because I've reached my health and my fitness goal. And that's going to mean that I'm a better person, partner, mother, whoever for you. And when we do enjoy those things together, it's going to be even more special. Can you respect and understand that because you love and appreciate me? And the other person will most inevitably say yes unless they are an a-hole. 7, have an exit plan. If you achieve your goal, but you don't know what to do afterwards, guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up straight back to square one. You need to know what the reversal process is when coming out of a fat loss phase, because otherwise, if you go back to your old habits, if you go back to eating the same way, if you don't slowly taper down your expenditure, you will accumulate body fat very quickly and you will be pretty dissatisfied with the results that you've got very shortly after you've finally achieved your target. So you need to know that you are slowly increasing the amount of food that you're consuming and that you're slowly reducing over time the amount of expenditure that you're doing to achieve your new maintenance nutrition levels and energy levels that is going to sustain the body that you want forever. Finally, number 8, if you get a coach, everything that I've just spoken about becomes 100 times easier. You've got someone to help you track your variables, all of your progress meticulously. You've got someone to help you set the boundaries that you need to set. You've got all the information that you require, and all you need to do is implement. And if you haven't implemented it, you've got someone to report to as to why you haven't done that. And then you can change the protocol so it works. You can have some more guidance so that you're able to achieve it. If you commit to regular accountability with someone and you're investing into that accountability, it is inevitable that you're going to succeed 10 times faster. So there we have it, the 8 tips. Number 1, reverse engineer your weight loss goal. Number 2, track your progress meticulously. 3, sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. 4, do more steps. 5, make meal prep a priority. 6, stick to your boundaries. 7, have an exit plan. And 8, get a coach. I really hope that you smash your fat loss goals out of the park over this summer. And if you do want a little bit of extra guidance and you want my 5-step to fat loss guide, because it is a really simple guide with a little bit more detail than what I've recorded here in it, then just drop me a message on Instagram with 5 steps to fast fat loss. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you as always. Please drop a rating if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or if you're on YouTube, drop a like. I will catch you in the next one. Much love.